Philadelphia uplink successful. Welcome back, Commander. Today's threat level is...
Greetings. These days, he who controls the internet commands the future.
We fight a life or death struggle against the powers of capitalism.
That is why I'm reaching out to you here.
Your spacecraft has landed, Comrade General.
Finally, Soviets have reached the moon!
While a lot has changed in the 20-plus years I have been away, some things have not. Brothers and sisters of Nod, I welcome you to planet CNC.
Why do you do this?
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by.
While I am under the belief that if you build it, they will come, I am not ignorant of the fact that delaying a project for almost 2 years while the owner of the IP you're trying to make a video about creates waves in the form of a remaster, sitting on your ass is generally not a good idea. So, to capitalize on my own misfortunate misconduct, I made this video. I'm genuinely sorry this took so long to even begin making. I've had this script partially finished for almost 2 years now. What is wrong with me? Alright, let me explain. This is the prologue episode of a much larger series I'm making called the Grand Command & Conquer Retrospective. Why grand? Because I plan on making the biggest, baddest, most detailed retrospective this series has ever seen. Also because I couldn't think of a better name in the span of 2 years. I'm very sorry about that, by the way. However, begging for subs while offering Jack with a record of nil is incentive insufficient for a viewer suspicious. So I offer ye this, a guide for legal and free installation for your consolation. Most of you are probably thinking, hi, future me here. First off, I like to apologize for the poor audio quality. I only realized how bad it was until after I finished it. If you think this is fine, this is how I sound without the music on. I'll do what I can to improve it, but I can't make any promises. Secondly, I just realized that someone already made a video similar to mine. It covers most of the same points I did, and goes a little bit in more detail about the dreadful Origin versions. He also covers Dune Emperor bit, which I forgot about in this video. But he also did forget to mention Battle for Middle-earth, or the Star Wars game Petroglyph made. So I guess we're tied on this. I recommend you go watch his video before downloading any of the games, since he does say some things I didn't, and provide some more links. Now back to you, past self. Most of you are probably thinking, hey, couldn't I just buy the entire series on Origin for like 20 bucks? Why is this guide even necessary? And why do you say free? And yes, that is correct, but most of them don't work anymore, so you're going to have to install fixes. Where do you find these fixes? Well, that's why I made this video to begin with. Well, that and for the publicity. As for the free part, EA basically made everything predating Red Alert 2 freeware. Probably because they were under the clearly stupid impression that strategy games don't sell. Personally, I don't really care about the details, I never really thought it mattered, but you can go read it here if you want. What does matter is this means you can legally and morally download the original Command & Conquer games and more without having to pay 20 bucks for it. Now some of you may be thinking, wait, did I just get duped into spending 20 bucks on a free game? Yes, you did get duped. But wait. Doesn't the remaster come with modern features that make the original not a total embarrassment to a modern audience? Oh yeah, but CNCNET and OpenRA both do that for free. But wait, doesn't CNC Remastered look nicer than the fan versions? Does it really? It's still fundamentally the same game with the same choppy animations, so no amount of pixels will change that. And personally I'd say it's a visual downgrade, especially when they easily had the budget to pull a Brotherhood style remake and redo the entire game using a modern 3D engine, thus blowing apart anything a mere modder could accomplish. But I guess a half-ass attempt would be economically sound, yay capitalism. Also, OpenRA has an objectively better UI than the official remaster, so I guess it doesn't win on that either. So I basically just gave EA $20 for nothing. While I loathe to defend EA, seeing as they did literally kill Westwood and the Command & Conquer series to begin with, Remastered is unfortunately the best way to play the campaigns of the original Tiberian Dawn and Red Alert 1, since CNCNET doesn't have modern controls and interfacing, and OpenRA's campaign is still in development. Hey, what is an OpenRA? The groups I am to list have their own websites, from which they use to share their work. Keep in mind, however, for they all differ in intent and in form. In order of appearance, their names are as follows: CNCNET Gruntmods, OpenRA, and CNCOnline as well. If you recognize some or all of these names, skip here for a guide upon installation. And now is the time for a descriptor for those come out of the loop are it. Yich. CNCNET is a collection of quality of life improvements and standalone mods that come bundled with free and complete versions of Tiberian Dawn, Red Alert, and Tiberian Sun. Their main intent is to preserve the games as much as possible while adding features like improved multiplayer, rebindable keys, widescreen support, and actually being able to run on a modern operating system. Unfortunately, it doesn't improve some of the horribly outdated mechanics of the series. Like, for example, left-click mouse controls, no real in-game options, an incredibly weird speed setting, no waypoints, dumb pathfinding, no unit queues, along with several other less important things. If you weren't old enough to witness the glory days of Newgrounds, I recommend only playing Tiberian Sun or Red Alert 2 if you're willing to pay, or maybe not. They're both modern enough to be visually interesting and hold up decently well while still being outdated by today's standards, just not as much as the first three games. The main benefit of CNCNET versions is that they come with fully completed campaigns, while the alternatives either cost money or are still in development. On the flip side, this does have 4 roguelike mods, and so long as you click here and not here, getting these games running is fairly simple. I'll talk about this more in a future video, so look out for that. The Gruntmods Dune 2000 mod, similar to CNCNET, has many of the same features, like restored multiplayer and bot support. The major difference here is all the fan-made bonus content is integrated right into the game and the presentation is a lot slicker. Again, I'll talk about this more in its own video. Side note, I'm pretty sure Dune 2000 is abandonware and not freeware, just so you know in advance. Then we have the big one, OpenRA. This is a completely new engine designed to mimic the older games while being technically superior in almost every way. Basically, the team behind it decided that instead of renovating the house, they'd tear it down and build a better one. It comes with Tiberian Dawn, Red Alert, and Dune 2000. They're also working on integrating Tiberian Sun in there as well. It gets its rebuilt from the ground up. It plays and controls very similar to today's games. It's basically everything we ever wanted from the remaster, except it's free. So here's the catch. All but one of the campaigns for it are incomplete, and they don't come with any of the cutscenes or expansion musics unless you've already bought them. Also, OpenRA messes with some of the balances and mechanics somewhat. For example, building a duplicate factory in the old games wouldn't let you build from it. Instead, it makes the designate primary building build faster, but in the OpenRA version, it works the way you'd expect. There are other changes, but from what I understand, they're basically mainly all positive. Multiplayer-wise, there is no better way to play the old games. You can't compete against it. It's free, but the single player leaves much to be desired. Once again, I'll talk about this later. Finally, we have CNCOnline. Just like the others, this is a thing you download to make your games work the way they're supposed to. The difference here is, it's not a mod, it's a server emulator meant to replace GameSpy. To my knowledge, this is the most reliable way to get the co-op mode in Red Alert 3 working. I should know, I've been trying and failing to get it working for a long time, but it does, and I love it for it. It's also made on the same people who worked on T3A Online, which serves the same vision, purpose, except it's for the Battle for Middle-earth series. Ooh, there are mods here as well. I'll talk about this again when you get to the CNC Generals. Oh, and there's also Renegade X, a standalone recreation of the original CNC Renegade multiplayer done in the Unreal Engine. But it's basically its own game, so I'm not gonna cover it here. Now for the installation guide. Here are the timestamps. We're good? Alright, we'll cover CNCNET and Gruntmods together since they're basically identical. You can download Red Alert and Tiberian Sun by clicking here. Be careful not to click here unless you're looking for multiplayer only. Clicking on it anyway will give you an easy to use installer along with this menu once you're finished. If you see this, and are only interested in the campaign, it means you did it wrong. It's also not a big deal. You don't have to deinstall it if you accidentally did. It won't impact the rest of the game. For the rest of you, click here and select full game. This will give you another easy to use installer. Just select the destination and install it like a normal program. If you're confused about this part of the setup, just copy my settings. Now Tiberian Dawn is a little bit tricky, but that's only if you're bad at installing and or bad at managing your sleep schedule like I am. First you need to go to the website and click download. Doing this will send you to the forums with 2 links leading to ModDB. They'll both give you an installer for the first game and its cutscenes. Just double click and select like you want to install them, just like a normal program. I've added links to the ModDB page along with an official but dodgy looking website you can download from, just in case. Gruntmods is nearly identical. Just go to the website, click here, double click the installer and follow the instructions. Now comes the most important part, setting your options. A lot of old games have a bad habit of not future-proofing themselves, so because of this, knowing how to edit the settings is crucial, since you can't do most of it in-game. Simply right-click on the desktop shortcut and open file location. From there, find the config file and its full version. Tiberian Dawn, Red Alert, Tiberian Sun and Dune all have different named versions of the same file, with the exception of Dune. The normal config is just resolution and render settings, while the full one has a lot more options. It's important to remember that setting the resolution too high might make it a lot harder to play, especially since you can't zoom in or change the resolution in-game. It also has a bad habit of bugging out on smaller maps. Pressing escape usually fixes it. I recommend setting it to 1280 by 720, maybe one of the 160 resolutions. Just remember what aspect ratio monitor you're using and you should be fine. Google it if you need help. Then there are the renderers like this one. If you have problems or crashing, change the renderer until you're satisfied. That's what I did. Then we have everything else. I recommend not touching anything unless you know what they mean. Some versions have the game speed cranked up to competitive levels. I recommend new players tone it down a little bit to avoid getting overwhelmed. If that isn't an option, I suggest pressing the pause break button a lot. Notice it feels like you're cheating, but so does the AI. What else do we have? Oh yeah, Tiberian Sun comes with its own launcher, so I recommend using that instead. Finally, if you click New Game on Tiberian Dawn but the intro doesn't play, and you get the faction selection instead, select the faction, skip the cutscene, abort mission and click Intro and Preview. The intro is a bit cheesy and kinda bad, but it's worth watching.
At least your mother tipped well.
If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below and I'll add it in an addendum video in future. Now onto OpenRA. In comparison, OpenRA is a lot easier to install. Just go to the website, click download and start the installer. After it's done, you get 3 new desktop shortcuts for these games. Minus the actual game parts, you still need to download those. Doing this is surprisingly easy. Simply start the game you want to play, click download on all the available options while keeping in mind that you need to have the expansions to get all the extra goodies. The most practical and legal way to do this is to buy the Command & Conquer Ultimate Collection on Origin. Since I really doubt any of you have a disk drive lying around, this is kind of the only option available. Unlike CNCNET, setting up the options here is way easier, and since it's technically the same game, all changes will be saved and remembered across all versions. Nice! Now as for the options themselves, go to display, set battlefield camera to far. You have the ability to zoom in and out as far as you want in OpenRA, so there's no reason not to. Next I suggest setting the health bars to show on damage and keeping the control scheme to modern. Trust me, left click mouse controls were abandoned for a reason. Because I don't have any of the games here installed at the moment and my space is limited, I unfortunately can't check for any bugs or oddities this time around. Which is a real shame because I remember having some real trouble getting this to work the first time. Pretty sure I sorted that out when I restarted my PC, but I don't remember. Regardless, I'll run through the installation all the same. Firstly, this is just a server emulator, it doesn't come with any of the games. You have to either have a copy from way back when, or buy the Ultimate Collection on Origin. Or you can go through Steam, but it only has 3 games. Side note, EA screwed around with General's files a bit, so you might have problems getting it running or playing with other people. If you care about only the single player campaign, pirating a more stable version is an option, just so you know. When your game is installed and ready, go to the CNCOnline website and click this button for the official instructions. Making an account here is mandatory. Normally I'd be a bit angry about this, but GameSpy also did this, so I guess it's alright. Just remember that online doesn't encrypt your password, so avoid having it be your Steam account password. Maybe write this one down on a sticky note or something. Next is the patches, which reads, these can be installed through the game's online interface. Pretty sure that means you can do it from the launcher window if you don't want to install it manually, but I don't remember. Now install either Gentool or CNCOnline launcher. I've never actually tried Gentool, so I can't help you with that, but it should be pretty easy to install. As for the launcher, install it as normal and remember to click this vitally important hook button. This will make it so the program recognizes your games. If it's not hooked, it won't work. Just remember to launch your games from this launcher or you won't be able to play multiplayer. Once you're in-game, sign in with the relevant data as written here on the setup screen. From there it should work fine. If you have any problems, I recommend restarting your computer or just waiting a few minutes before retrying. It's probably a temporary server-side issue, but if that doesn't work, try contacting support. If any of this is wrong, tell me in the comments and I'll correct it in a future video and in the pinned comment. Buy it in the Origin pack and then install it. Type in this cheat code while you're in the main menu to get modern resolution options. I don't have anything to talk about Red Alert 2 since it's neither freeware nor abandonware and it already works fine on my PC, so I didn't have to go around searching for fixes again. All the other games can be bought on Origin for $30 or on Steam. They all mostly work fine on modern systems and don't need all that much fiddling around to get them working. When you have trouble, remember that the series has a pretty big cult following. If asking in the comments of this video doesn't help, try contacting one of the mod groups.
Objective complete.
Alright, that about covers it. Tune in next time as I cover the remake of the game that started it all, Dune 2000. Why Dune and not these 2 games? So I don't have to stop the review every 5 seconds just to talk about Dune. Skipping straight to the mainline Command & Conquer games without talking about Dune 2K would be like making a video about Quake and not talking about Doom or Wolfenstein. I feel like it would be unprofessional and lazy if I did that. Also, since I wrote and recorded much of it, getting the video out will take a lot less time. Please remember to like, share, subscribe and click the bell button so more than 2 people can watch this series. If I got anything wrong, let me know. See you next time, Commanders.
Battle control terminated.
Welcome back, Commander. Why is this still running?